Hello, hey, you are on the Better Ask Jay podcast, episode 2. It's a business entertainment stream for business owners, startups, and taxpayers in the UK. You have to know you are not alone in your fight with HMRC and tax issues for you and for your business. You have a friends and experts on your side you can rely on. Better Ask Jay, and I am Maria, your business developer expert for you today. And with me today, as always, Jason Seagrave, our Jay, tax expert and business owner who helped more than 400 businesses, oh my God, to reduce their tax and run businesses in a smarter way. Hi, Jay, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good today, Maria. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm much better. How is your eye? Is it any better?
It's getting there. It's getting
Yeah?
there.
Okay.
I think we're on the home straight now. So yeah.
I'm really glad to hear it. So let us just do uh, our structure today. So we will get a new section first. We will discuss all the main and more important news, which is influence the UK business and taxpayers in nowadays. And then we will jump to just a bit entertainment things. How are you guys running your business, and what kind of updates do you have? And the last section of our podcast is dedicated to our prospects and clients and to all that people were care about. So we will got a couple of questions from our target audience, which we got on our email betteraskj@gmail.com. You're always more than welcome to write us your questions there, and probably you will get your answer in our next episode. Yeah, shall we?
Yeah. Yes, and if you want to make it anonymous, that's absolutely fine. If your question you think is a little bit awkward or a little bit silly, or you think oh, everyone should know this answer, then we can just do it as anonymous. But so just put in your email. Yeah, I'd like you to keep my name anonymous.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, let me just start with the news section. Um, I will try to be very fast today. Just for your information, would not like to keep you long today. So the toppest news from that week was that the Bank of Canada announced a cut of a quarter of a percentage point to its key interest rate last week, yeah, bringing the rate down to 4.75%. So initial signs of an interest rate cut, and Canada is the first J7 country to cut its interest rates. Jay, so what does it really matter for us?
Yeah, so Canada basically have announced last week that their main rate, which is the equivalent to the base rate in the UK, that they're reducing it to 4.75. Now they're the first country in the G7 to make that move. And so that's really good news because we think now that they've made that move, that the rest of the G7 countries will do the same. So we're sort of hoping that this is now the first sign that an interest rate cut is on its way. Also, the IMF have said that they think that by the end of December this year, the UK interest rate should be reducing down to 3.5%. So that would be great news for business owners. If you're a property developer, or if you've got rental property, or if you pay a mortgage, that's going to reduce to 3.5%. So that's great news. So let's just hope. Have you worked out how much that's going to save you there, Maria?
Uh, I'm just trying to work it out. Do you see? I have this absolutely gorgeous tool just to be aware, with my numbers. It's just such a good things to have in the hands. This is kind of a story about this tool, but let's talk about later. Yeah. So, what does it mean for me? Yeah. So, give me some specific number, but try to be short. What I'm trying to say. Give me an example of a taxpayer right here in the UK with some rates, and what does it precisely mean for these
So
people,
if you're a mortgage payer,
right?
and your mortgage was something like £300,000, if the interest rate goes down, um, to 3.5% from where it is now, you'd be saving several £100 a month off your interest in your mortgage.
That's really fancy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So either your mortgage payment will come down, or if you keep your mortgage payment the same, you'll pay your mortgage off sooner.
oh, that's brilliant. That's really
Yeah.
cool news because sometimes I can't understand these headlines and I just can't calculate what does it mean for me. But 700, that's really nice, isn't it? Right. Let me
Yeah.
just jump to. Oh, sorry. You go.
I was just going to say, let's just hope that the change in the election that's
Oh,
happening in a few weeks doesn't throw a spanner in the works when it comes to this, and that whoever takes over doesn't do anything that makes this interest rate cut be jeopardised. But hopefully
yeah.
not.
We will see. Hopefully not. Yeah. So let me just put another news on the table for discussion. So all this cyber security thing, which is such a trendy now on the market, and everybody talking about the cyber security tips and etc. So, and I just would like you to ask. What is your tip about the cyber security? So, do you use anything there?
Yes. So obviously, passwords. Everyone has passwords. You have them on all your things, so logging into the bank, into your email, into all sorts of different apps, etc. And it's very difficult to come up with a password that's strong, but that you can remember. So if you have a weak password, and particularly if you use it on many different accounts, if someone manages to crack that password, then they've got access to all your things. So it's really important to have a strong password, but it's very difficult to remember a strong password. So it's not my tip, unfortunately. It's the
Oh,
National Cyber Security Centre have come out with this tip this week. They're saying if you pick 3 words that are not connected to each other, and you make those your password, then it makes it very difficult to guess because it's 3 random numbers, but also it's quite easy to remember because you can make a little story up, So, for example, you could pick 3 words like paper, humble, and connect. Okay, those are 3 words. Now, no one's going to put those 3 together, but if you use those as your password, hopefully you'll remember it. And that password is very long, and it's going to not be easy to crack. So, yeah, the recommendation is think of 3 random words and put them together, and then think of a story that will help you remember them. So for Papal Humble Connect, maybe you could say in your head, I was sitting this morning reading the newspaper, and I was reading about Taylor Swift, and I was thinking she's really, really, really humble, really humble, and I'd really like to follow her. So I'm going to click on her TikTok and follow her. Paper Humble Connect. Then you won't forget your password, will you?
oh, well. So you touch these two topics, which really kind of interesting. Big, focus a big interest on this week. It's this Taylor Swift, which is going to be on 15th of August in Wembley, isn't it? And they take it such a horrible prices there. It's just more than 600, and black market become more aggressive, and you can resell the tickets more than 900. But let me just ask, let me back to the cyber security. So is it like, what will be your example of password if you will be trying to work
I'm not
out?
going to give you my password.
No, I'm not going to get any like, private information from you. For me, for example, if I will try to make a story with my password, it always will be the name of my child, or the name of my dog, or the name of my pets, or the name of my mom, and and the year which that story had happened. So it's from that tips, it was like you should to avoid it, isn't it? This National Cybersecurity Center, they recommend to avoid this type of the things which
Yeah, they
can
shouldn't
be.
be connected.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
should be just words that are completely random. So, telephone, uh, glasses, table. There you
Yeah,
go.
Okay.
So
All right.
completely different. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I will make like mine already. So I work it out. All right. But I'm not going to tell you today. No.
No.
Right. You know what? So I'm just would like to probably to move to the our secret French news section. So is any excitement there? So I'm looking for a really fresh and nice and juicy story, from your business, from what kind of you guys can share with the public. Do you
Yeah.
have any for me today?
Yeah, I have a couple. One thing we've been helping some clients with these last few weeks has been making claims for in respect to their energy costs. So some of the brokers, there's been some misbehaviour in the process of setting up energy contracts in the past, and there's now an opportunity for you to make a claim against these brokers, or more importantly, the energy companies, because it's the energy companies that have access to the money. So we've introduced a few of our clients to this arrangement, and it's a bit like the old mis-selling of PPI that people did. So you perhaps never had that, Maria, but people were selling payment protection insurance when people were taking out loans.
Oh,
And so for a long time, people making claims against the banks for this and getting substantial amounts of money back. And we think it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be a big deal, and lots of people can get some money back. And so we've been introducing our clients to this, and we have one client whose claim is going to be in the region of over £2 million.
oh no way.
And this is not a client who's spending millions and millions of pounds on their energy costs. Their energy costs are, a few £100,000 a year. But they've got this issue, and their claim is going to be £2 million if they're successful. So we're hoping that they do very well. They were very pleased when we explained this to them. So they're going through that process now. And I have another couple of clients who are doing it, and their reclaim is going to be over £100,000.
Oh wow.
And there's no risk for them, because the lawyers will take this on a no win, no fee basis. So they'll take their fee out of the funds that are received. But yes, we're sort of introducing clients to this, and they're very happy.
Wow. So what is their acceptance criteria to be entitled of this scheme?
So they have to have purchased their energy through an energy broker. It can be done for their electricity and their gas prices, but the lawyers don't want to get involved for anybody whose claim is less than £10,000, because it's
Yeah.
not worth them investing the time in making the claim. So as long as your claim is over £10,000, then. But what if anyone's interested? Just contact us. We'll have access to your electricity bills and your gas bills, and we'll be able to tell you pretty quickly whether you can take it any further.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. That's quite an really valuable tips, isn't it? Thank you very much. So, and now I'm looking for all these trends we have on the market about this passive income, and people are so crazy, about that, how to make more money from the um, from your property, from your business, from your assets, from everything. So do you have, guys, anything to share with the people how to make it workable and doable? If you have something in your business, just give us some
Yeah.
probably tools, share it with us.
So you're right. It is a sort of trendy thing. It's all over the internet. Passive income. Do this, and I can earn money without doing anything. Drop shipping and those sorts of things. And what's the affiliate marketing, those sorts of
Oh, yeah.
things. But actually, this is not a new idea. There's a book, and I don't know how old it is. I think it's like decades old now, called Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
Very, very famous book. And I was reading that again for probably the fifth time a few weeks ago, and Michael, who's the main character, he was trying to think of, he was only a child then, he was trying to think of, a way for him to generate passive income. And he was working in his friend's dad's shop. And he noticed that the comic books, after a couple of weeks, the rep for the comic book firm would come round, take all the comic books away and shred them. And then bring the new ones. And so Michael thought, well, that's a waste. So he said to the man, can I have those books? Instead of you shredding them, can I have them? And the guy said, yeah, sure, we're only going to shred them. We don't need them. And so what Michael did was he set up a library for his school. And so the guys came in, they paid $1 after school, and they had access to all of these comic books, and they could read them. And so he basically generated £1 from all his school friends to read these comic books, and it didn't cost him anything. And I was thinking, right, well, what can I do to do this? I want some passive income. So, I was listening to this as an audio book, and I sort of drifted off to sleep thinking about it. Woke up the next morning, and I thought, well, what do we have in the office that we don't use all the time? And we have a car park, we have a number of spaces, and we have our staff who work from home or they work remotely, etc. So they're not always in the office. And I thought we could rent those out. So I now rent out 2 of our office parking spaces to people. It started off on a monthly basis, on an hourly basis. So someone would say, "Oh, I'm going to use it for an hour or 2," because we're on a really good location. So just outside our office is a tram. And one way it goes to the hospital, the Queen's Medical Centre, which has got no parking at all. And the other way, it takes you into Nottingham City Centre. And then also there's a bus stop that has the Skylink service, which is a bus that takes you to the airport. So we've got 3 really good locations: the city centre, the hospital.
Say that if I'm going from East Middle Airport to travel to somewhere, I can park car in your office?
Yes. Oh. Yeah, we can park in the office, get the bus, and it takes you straight to East Midlands Airport. To park the car with us for a week would be like £10, £12 or something like that. Oh. Real saving. And we're getting money, passive income, for something that we're not using. And then the other thing we did, in this particular meeting room that I'm in, we have a meeting room because we meet clients, prospects here, but in all honesty, it's not used all of the time. So we put the meeting room on Zipcube, which is a bit like an Airbnb but for office space. And so if anyone wants to use needs an office space to hold a meeting or a conference, we've got this beautiful room. We've got a lovely touchscreen TV that they can connect to. We have internet. We have all sorts of refreshments, and they can park outside. So that's a big saving for people. And again, we're generating a few pounds for just using our office. And then the last thing we've been doing is we've started allowing people to use our office as their registered office. Right. So if you're lucky enough to be a client of ours, we provide the registered office service for free. But if you're not a client of ours and all you want is a registered office, we can offer that to you for a very reasonable monthly payment.
Okay, so let me say, if I have a contract with some London accountancy firm, I can save something just to replace my business authority to you guys. Am I saving in this meeting or not?
Yes, I mean we charge a very small amount for the registered office, and any post that we receive on your behalf, we'll scan it and send it over to you.
Oh, brilliant! That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. That's really interesting. So, talking about these new books. So I got this one, which is probably you heard about. So this is a Green Light from Matthew McConaughey. So have you a chance to take a look on these books, and probably a couple of tips you can bring to our audience?
Yeah, it's actually a very good book. I was never a big fan of Matthew McConaughey. I thought he was a bit intense. He's a great actor. he's a great actor. He's brilliant in True Detective. He's brilliant in that. I always sort of say that someone like Matthew McConaughey is a great actor, and somebody like John Wayne, wouldn't get a job as an actor
Okay.
now because Matthew McConaughey and his type are so good. So I wasn't a big fan of it. I respected him as an actor, but I thought, oh, he's so serious. He's a very serious man, and I wouldn't like to meet him. But it's a very, very good book, and you get to know him very well. And he's not like that at all. He's very he's very funny. He's worked extremely hard to get where he is. Obviously, he's very attractive, and so that helps him get the roles. But he works very hard to deliver what he does, and so it's a good role model, because you probably think, oh, he just got the job because he's an attractive man, but in reality, he takes it very seriously and he's worked very hard. So that was
So
a
you
real
highly recommend
change.
to touch the book
Yes.
and to read it. Yeah, so I found these bits about his autobiography quite interesting. You see, so he definitely an attractive one. And as for me, it's always like, if you're an actor, you're just like selling yourself, your appearance, and nothing after that. So nothing behind of it. It's just the appearance, pretty faces, nothing at all. But this is a autobiography, and the way how he put it all together, the way how the book design was all these nice things, and this style of the it's a bit old fashioned, to be honest, to make this kind of a things inside of the book. I mean, the form how they put this text, that's a bit old fashioned, isn't it? I can't read
Well,
it properly.
I think they're extracts from his notebook. So I think he's always been someone who does a journal. So he journals things and scribbles and stuff like that. So he's taken extracts from that. So maybe, Maria, and this is me talking out of turn, but maybe we ought to have a bit of a book recommendation in our podcast
Yeah, we
in
can do. I
future
definitely
weeks.
highly recommend this one for everybody, just to have a fun with Jeremy Clarkson. Of course, a Diddley Squad have a lines for a couple of kilometers, and this is a call for specifically for Jeremy Clarkson, for Maria Sangurska and Jason Seagrave. Please let us into 5 minutes, and we will do our best to make promo for our books. I'm sorry for advertisement now, but I just really would like to see at this particular farm, and I'm not going to stand two whatever like hours in that line. This is my idea. Sorry for promo. Now it's over. Okay, let me just start with our more powerful bit in our podcast. This is a question from the public, and we have a few on this week's. Let me just, we got this email. How, and the question from our prospect was, how easy is to change accountants? How is it like painful process? What kind of a first step I need to do? Because I know this relationship which you establish with your accountants, that's quite of intimacy process, isn't it? And this is your finance. This is such a big let me say big things to think about it. So can you just give some tips how easy to change accountant?
Yes, well, it's a big decision. You shouldn't be changing your accountant regularly, and we're always looking to build long-term relationships with our clients. So we're not looking to sort of come in and do something with them in the first year, do it, for a great price, and then put the price up in the future years. We're looking to build a long-term relationship. So and so I wouldn't recommend anyone changes their accountants every few years, but as with anything, some accountants are better than others, and we believe that we're one of the best with what we offer. So, but there's a lot of inertia when it comes to changing accountants. It's a big thing, but we can make it very easy. So all you need to do is, if you decide you want to appoint us, just tell us the name of your old accountant. we will send you a letter that you can sign, which we will send to your old accountant. We will then write to the old accountant,
Mhm.
explain that you've decided to make a change, and they're obliged to provide us with with all the information we need to do the handover. So the practical step of changing accountant is very straightforward. It doesn't take long. So no, if you're not happy with your current accountant, then don't resist a change because you think it's going to be too difficult. It's painless, straightforward, and fast.
Yeah, I see. Well, for me, when I was looking for my accountants, I was really worried, and for me, it's kind of a big challenge to do. And I know about this, lead generation platforms which provide you kind of a marketplace. You can go, you can set up your kind of needs, describe as a business like what kind of a services you're looking for, and all these guys will start to contact you, in a 5 minutes, and you can be very overwhelming. So let me say, how do you handle with these competition things? What is really works to be different for accountancy practice?
Well, the main thing is when you're choosing an accountant, the first thing is that they should be professionally qualified. So what people don't realise is that you don't have to be a qualified accountant in the UK to call yourself an accountant. So these guys that are approaching you, they may not be qualified. Um, they may not have an office in the UK.
Okay.
They may not be very experienced. There's nothing to stop them calling themselves an accountant. So we would recommend to find a firm that is established a long time, has an office, has depth of experience and lots of people working in the business. And so we don't we have quite a high conversion rate. So something like 75% of the clients that we speak to turn into clients. So we're not afraid of any competition. We're quite happy to go up against other people.
Okay,
So
brilliant. Thank you for sharing. And I have this question. Let me just probably to leave some other questions for the next episode, because that's in a kind of a challenge of a time, a pressure. So I would like to ask from another our email to bring you for your attention this question: what accounting software do you recommend?
okay, well there's quite a few different types of accounting software out there. The sort of traditional thing was you used to have the software on your desktop on your computer, something like Sage. So Sage accounting was a brilliant piece of software for a long time. It was on your desktop of your computer, and it was very stable. But we're now moving away from those desktop-based versions, and we're moving to online software. And the beauty of online software is that you can easily share it with your accountant, or even you may have a bookkeeper that's doing part of your work, and some other person might do the sales invoicing. So because it's accessed online, it can be accessed anywhere in the world. You can have multiple users. So the owner of the business maybe can be the person who raises the sales invoices to the customers. They might have a bookkeeper who reconciles the bank, and then at the end of the day, the accountant jumps on and does the accounts. And if there's anything that you've got questions over, the accountant can jump on the software and have a look and make any corrections. And it's a lot more easier to collaborate with these online systems. With the old Sage desktop software, you'd have to sort of make a backup of the software, of the data, send it to your accountant, who would have to restore it to their system. So it's and in the meantime, if you make any changes to that system, they won't be reflected in the what version that the accountant's got. So your best bet is to use an online system. And the online systems have then got the ability to interact with other bits of software. So if you're an Amazon seller, for example, these online software providers, they can link into the Amazon account and they can download all your transactions and process those transactions for you, put them into the right headings. If there's any sort of complicated VAT issues, because if you're in with Amazon, you might be selling abroad, and it handles all of that for you. You can also connect your online software to your bank account, so it will download all your bank transactions, so you don't have to rekey those amounts. You can just go into the software and say, right, well, that receipt there is for this particular sales invoice. In fact, if you've put your sales invoices on, it will have a go at guessing what invoice that payment is relating to. So they're much smarter now, and also you can now scan your purchase invoices into the software, so you don't have to retain all those invoices. So
I see.
your
Okay.
accountant can have a look at a transaction and see the invoice without having to ask you for it. So online is definitely better, particularly for owner managed businesses who want to do a lot of it themselves. You've got the ability to do as much or as little as you want, but you can collaborate well with your accountant. So there's a few online providers out there. There's QuickBooks. There's Free Agent. I think Free Agent, you might get that free if you're a NatWest customer. But our favourite software is Xero. That's Xero with an X. We use that. We have 50 clients at least that are using Xero for their accounting software, and we like it for those reasons. It's the one that is able to integrate with far more other third-party applications. So there's a lot out there that you can do, and there's interactions you can do. For example, we use it for our software, and every time somebody gets sent an invoice, within 24 hours, they get sent an email from us asking them to review us, for example.
Oh,
And that's something that you can do automatically with this sort of software. You can't do that with a desktop-based software. So there's loads and loads of interactions with Xero. So that's our recommendation. And we're a gold partner with Xero because we
oh,
have so many clients on it. So we could even offer you a discount compared to the normal price if you use Xero. So if you're an owner managed business, then Xero is my recommendation. If you're a landlord, because we have quite a lot of landlord clients, and we're sort of a specialist looking after people with buy-to-let properties. If you want to think of an accounting package for that, then we recommend Hammock. So Hammock allows you to basically put your properties on there. You can put your rents in there. It will, when the money comes in from the tenant, it will identify the rent is for that tenant. You can put other things on there like your gas safety renewal and all sorts of things. It connects with the bank as well. So that's better for those people who are owner managed businesses who are operating buy-to-let properties. So yeah, so Xero for owner managed businesses, and I've got clients who are doing £6-7 million turnover, and they're using Xero quite comfortably. If you're a rental property owner and you've got a sizable portfolio, then think about Hammock, because in the future there are going to be more reporting requirements for those people who have rental properties, and Hammock will take care of that for you in the future when that time comes.
okay. Thank you. All right. So, shall we just probably to finalize our podcast for today, guys? Thank you very much. Listen, our podcast Better Ask Jay. If you have any questions, Jason, thank you very much for your time today. I know it's not easy to run your business and doing podcast at the same time. However, thank you very much for coming today. And I just would like to remind you guys, if you have any questions, any issues, or probably any proposition for our podcast, please email us to betteraskj@gmail.com, and it will be plus to your karma. God bless you. Namaste. And also, please make some comments and leave your review on podcast platform Spotify for us. It will be just such amazing feedback for our work today. And I hope you enjoy of our podcast and listening us and watching us who are watching us. Yes. So it's just so amazing to have. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Have a good week,
Cheers.
everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.